you're going to share your feelings, I would definitely share them with a sounding board person. Please do not get you the city girlfriend. Do not hop on the phone with her. She don't got no man either. Both y'all upset. Both y'all finna do something reckless. It's finna be a problem. The police will be called. Like, remember what happened to that girl that blew herself up messing up that car? Please, baby, don't do it. Don't do it.
Welcome everyone to the Kamerie Gibson Show, where we talk about transforming pain into power. And today I have a special guest with me here today. This is Miss Tiffany. If you would like to go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, I am Tiffany Sky. I am an entrepreneur, fashion designer, therapist, and the list goes on. I pretty much started doing fashion design at the age of like 12. I started pretty much um, kind of altering things because there was a lot of things that weren't in my size properly. Like I had nice clothing, like my mom and dad would pay for nice clothes, but unfortunately, like because of me growing so rapidly, and I'm over 6 feet tall, I'm 6'1". Um, Growing up so fast, you just didn't have those in particular like trendy in style stuff in your size, so it was always way too big for you. And so I ended up doing design and doing little things for my family, just because we were taller, and that's just basically how I ended up picking up the craft. I kind of came, my whole family kind of had that same thing where we would sew buttons, we would, taper stuff. Sometimes we would make dresses, and it just kind of like became a part of my lifestyle. And then just took off and went and started making businesses out of it.
I love that. I didn't know the full story. You taking something that could have been seen as a bad thing and making it a positive thing and making it work for you, and then becoming a designer. I think that's really dope. What has been the most challenging in dating when it comes to being a tall woman?
See, and that's a myth. It's a myth because it is kind of a fetish. Like, it's kind of like after a certain age, I think after probably like the age of 22, it is the quite the opposite. Like a lot of the exes I dated were my height. I've dated men shorter than me. It's really more about your
Mm.
confidence level. I noticed that a lot when I'm modeling and just kind of being in my own element. It really doesn't matter. My height really doesn't matter. I attract what I want. And so I don't know about everybody else, but a lot of women ask me that. They're like, "Oh my God, is it hard for you to find somebody?" I'm like, no, because tall men like tall women. So that's kind of like it's a small myth, but I do, one thing I will say, like the challenge is being confident or always kind of being known for being tall. Like when I'm addressed, it is like, oh yeah, that's me, the tall one over there. So usually that's kind of like more the issue where I'm like, I'm more than just tall, y'all. I'm a person. But I mean, far as like dating and like finding people, I don't really
Yeah,
have an issue with that.
amen. I love that. What was it like growing up for you in California in the 2000s?
Don't even start it. I was like, oh, she gonna kill
No.
my age. I'm like, oh, I'm like, um, Cal, man, LA. And the funny thing is that I live in the Valley, so I'm part of Valley and LA. So it's like California is so vast, and I'm from the Midwest, so I'm originally from Michigan. So I'm originally from Ecorse, Michigan. I was born in Detroit. And we had traveled from place to place to place. So my background is a little bit different from everybody else's upbringing because my background is mostly like international. So it was almost like I was an army brat because my dad was a professional ball player. So we were going to country, so I didn't stay in one place for longer than 3 years. So I'd be in France, little kid, moving, left Italy, moving. And then we got to Detroit, where my mom's family was from, and we stayed there for a couple of years. And then my grandmother got sick, and we felt like my dad felt he got a better opportunity. There was better weather and stuff in California, so we went on and moved out here, and it was just basically a culture shock, because I came from the Midwest going to the West Coast, so it was completely, the fashion was different, the girls were different. Like the girls around my way was completely different from the girls around this way. It was like just completely adapting, which I was used to because I had been doing it pretty much all my life. But then once you got to the West Coast, California has a different je ne sais quoi, if you will. Like it got a different flavor. And I would definitely say that, the Midwest, I was born in the Midwest, but, the West Coast raised me because it definitely I kind of planted roots here. It was kind of giving me the LA life was more my stable life opposed to, I believe I was about 12 years old when we moved here, and that was it. Like I haven't moved since. I mean, I've traveled other places, but this has been my hometown. So it's been like, I think it's more like the culture shock of just the West Coast and being completely different from everywhere else around the world, and just embracing that culture, kind of knowing that like, wow, there's more than just black people here. There's white people. There's, what I'm saying? And I was already used to that because once again, I was the immigrant, basically. I was the one that didn't speak the language in other countries, or I was always the new kid, or I was always somebody that had to kind of like filter in. So kind of getting to the West Coast and kind of their laid back, sunshine and all that weather, it was a refreshing take on it. But I was really young when I kind of got here, and so it basically was like just getting the feel for the city and learning the city and basically getting raised by it. Right. So that's how I feel about LA.
Wow. That's a lot of moving around. And I know a lot of kids move around as well because you're pretty much at the mercy of your parents' decisions in their work life. So what would you say was the most challenging about having to move around and adapt to new places?
I think when I got to a certain age and I had like imprinted roots, so when we were in Michigan and Detroit, my family was there, my mother's side of the family, and we were all very, very close knit on that side. So I had cousins up the road, I had cousins around the corner, I had my auntie up the block. So it was almost very much family orientated. It wasn't like it was almost like a cul-de-sac of us. So everybody had a house. Everybody had somewhere to be. Like you could go up the street, you could ride your bike around the corner. You couldn't go too far. They knew you. It was just like a family community. But when you moved to California, it was like you didn't know any. Like my family was so spread out. My dad's side is from here. They're so spread out. Some live in LA, some live in the Valley, some live up north, some live around. So it was almost like you're by yourself. Like you don't got no real cousins that you could call on. I had like one group of cousins, and they lived in Compton. So I had to go to Compton to get to them. And we would go on the weekends. Like we would go on the weekends to Compton. So I would also get the Valley life, and then I go get that Compton piece. So I always felt like I was always hood adjacent to everything. So it was like I was always there. Like if you wanted to fight me, you had to catch me on Saturday because that's when I'm gonna be here. I'll be at my cousin's house on Saturday. But if you miss me and I leave on Sunday, that's too late for you. We're gonna have to go ahead and postpone this fight, sis, till Saturday because I'll be back. So that's pretty much how it went. But you're kind of at the mercy. And I had an argument with my parents. Really, I feel like I really was upset this last one when we moved here. I was like, I don't want to go. Like, I don't want to move. They were like, girl, we're going to pack you up with this luggage. And that's pretty much what you going to get. So, but I understood the reasonings. I understood as I get older, and that's what a lot of kids have to understand. Like, sometimes your parents are making decisions in a very fast paced. Life is really fast paced. And if you're not prepared to make that split decision, it can hold you back a little bit. And so I am grateful that my dad had that mindset to move out of there, because in Detroit you do, like, like the hood, it is a bit of a faster lifestyle also. Midwest is going to naturally be faster regardless. Like, so it's just, it's not even about where you live, it's just how the city is built. And so I think also that also takes into place, and when parents are thinking about how to raise their children, when we're young, we don't quite understand because we're in our own way, because we are in our own development. Like, I was young, I was like, wait a minute, I got family, I got friends here, you can't take me. Like, I'll stay at my auntie's. Like, I got whole plans. My mom's like, we ain't finna separate, you nuts. Like, we ain't finna go nowhere. You finna go in the trunk. How about that? You don't like it, you can go in the trunk. You know what I'm saying? Black parents. There is no say so. But in the same sense, didn't want to be apart from my family. So it was like, all right, I guess we're going to move again. Because it wasn't like we weren't moving before. I was like, all right, this is one more time. But this last time, they were like, well, this is it. I think this will be our home. And I was like, all right, whatever. Y'all ain't whatever. So, but we also had, like, my youngest sister was born. My grandmother she was at this point was an invalid. So, like, making life decisions for my parents was extremely important. They had a small child and an elderly person with them. And so when you are in a certain level of maturity, because I was the oldest child, I actually still had it, because I was a child. I still also had a sense of maturity, because we had to move. Like, you have, for those kids who have moved a lot, like, you have a strong sense of maturity because you had to blend in multiple places. Like, every year or every 2 years, every 3 years, you had different school. You had different people. Like, you got to have a different personality. Either you're introvert or extrovert, because you got to make friends. So it just kind of was like, I got to a point, I was like, I'm tired of this. I can stay here. They were like, nice try. You'll be going here, and we'll be getting you in school. And of course, my grandma was like, well, you don't want to be with me? And I was like, all right, grandma, I'm coming with you. You said so. Like, grandma, of course, was the one that was the deciding factor. She was like, you don't want to come be with me? She didn't want to leave either. She was there, and her life was like an amazing story. She was like the daughter of sharecroppers. She born in Alabama, escaped there, came to Detroit. They was like the ideology of moving up north. Like, and my dad's mom had the same ideology. They came in from the South. They went to the West. And so it was like, everybody had their own ideology of why to relocate their family. So, my grandma had already built her whole life here, and her family was here. So she was already, but she was sick. And, her family was my mom, because she only had one child. And then she had 3 grandbabies. She was like, my mom was like, we getting up out of here. What you trying to do? Well, go and pack my bags. So, like, she wasn't letting us leave her. So it was like, all right, we all going together. And I thank God I had a really good close knit family, to the point where when it did hit me hard, when I did have to transition, or I was uncomfortable transitioning, at least one of my family members was sensitive enough to understand that was a lot for me, or for my sister, or whoever.
Yeah,
So,
it's always good to have that like person to like fill that void or recognize, what you're going through. Kind of like slow down with you. And I think that grandparents have that advantage of being slowed down. So they're able to kind of like observe things, like kind of like at a park when you're watching your kids on a bench or something, and you're just like looking and like, you're able to see, okay, that kid is starting stuff on the playground, and so that's what I think about grandmothers when I think about that
mhm.
observer. But having to adapt to new environments,
Man,
Tiffany, what was your experience like with friendships with other women, sisterhood?
how, I mean, I was raised so interestingly, because I had to. I was almost in a form for a very long time until I moved to California, almost to a point of like exile because I moved so much. I had friends, but I really, I even to this day, and it's still, I have the issue where I'm like, y'all, it's not y'all friends, it's me. Where I'm not used to people sticking around. That's the issue. Like that's where your mindset where you're like, ah, they'll come, they'll go. I see you when I see you. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. But in the same sense, that does affect your relationships with people because you can allow a relationship to just go away. And, personally to some friends and family, I'm saying that. Sorry. You know what I'm saying? It's like, now you understand the trauma and why I wasn't completely on task. But in the same sense, I moved around from place to place to place. And also, in the same sense, I'm going to age myself, that technology wasn't as strong as it is now. Like, there was no Facebook, there was no Instagram, there was no FaceTime for me to have some friends. There weren't. Now I feel like it's easier because if your child or somebody, you like, look, you can always FaceTime and you can always see them. It wasn't like that. With us, you had to write a letter. You had to write a letter.
I can't imagine.
Postcards. I mean, and people are like, I can't imagine, and I'm like, I know you can't. I know you can't. That's why I didn't have many. I had to get friends, acquire friends as my roots stabilized. But I've had friends that I do recall that have come in and out of my life, even with relationships. I'll be the first to dip, like, because I'm used to not someone not being. So that is usually stability is like one of my main things that I look for. And with female friendships, I definitely try to put, because I know from my upbringing, I definitely try to put my best foot forward to, as of now, stay in communication, try to be, my door is always open, of course. And just, try to be there for my friends. Thank God for technology because it does help. I know it was very difficult for me to keep, friends and keep in contact with friends and just kind of have a friend group for a really long time till I was about 13 years old. So when it was time to have actual interpersonal relationships with other people, especially like same sex girls, whatever, it was difficult because I had so many different cultures that I already have been downloaded. So it was like, I'm trying to gauge how to be this girl's friend or how to be friends with people. So I would just pretty much just have this personality. So that was where my personality came from, because I only had such and such amount of time to make the memories with people because I was going to be gone. Like, they don't know it, but I know it. Like, maybe 2-3 years, I might not see y'all no more. Like, so let's have these memories. Let's make this great fun. And and now I still have friends that from, thank God, like I said, for technology, from middle school and high school, that hit me up and that see me, and now we can kind of rekindle the friendship or continue to keep the friendship going. But as I said, it was really difficult. It was really difficult because the identity crisis was very much there because, like I said, it wasn't like I always had that stable. I went to middle school, I went to high school, I went to elementary school, everybody. I never been all full years with my classmates. Like, wow. 2 years tops, me and you went to school together.
Wow.
And that's any friend I got. Like, even in college. Like, bounced place to place to place. So stability was like really something, even to this day, as an adult, I struggle with.
What would you have told your parents, knowing how stability, being unstable, how it's affecting you in your interpersonal relationships? What would you have told your parents? Just like a word of advice, like, hey mom, hey dad, like, I'm kind of struggling with this, or is there a way, or what can you say to parents in that to kind of help?
I think if it's just like, if it's the job, I think because a lot of kids, it's crazy because kids are very flexible and very understanding. And I was also very understanding to it because I didn't know what was going on. Like as an adult, I can identify, because, and I'm also an adult with training because I have a therapy training. So it's as an adult, I understand exactly what happens and what the issue was. But if, like I said, if it was me coming from the same situation, like I said, I move a very fast-paced life. If I have a child, my child might be moving around, might not, because I understand like how how much stability was. But also my parents were chasing their dreams. My dad was a ball player, like you were saying. My dad was famous. You know what I mean? So it was almost like, how do you complain? So it's like a catch-22. And not to say that my parents didn't think of what was best for me, because they did. They gave, they made sure you were in the best schools, you made sure you're in the best places. But like I said, it's still new. It's still a different spot. And I mean, me and my parents have had this conversation before, and we had, sometimes it's just time, it's healing to come to an understanding, like having you and your child have a more or less an understanding, because sometimes this is out of your realm of anything, parents and the kids. Like, we gotta move. Like, this is a ill safe area, or I can't be in this situation, or it's so many different reasons. It might not just be my situation that happened in. And so it's just kind of making sure that the parent has an understanding of the kid's feelings, and the kid has the understanding of the parents, situation. I mean, not too much, because kids don't understand everything, but just giving them like an ideology of, this is what it is. This is mommy's job. This is daddy's job. Unfortunately, I would love to have this for, let them know, like, I would love to give it this way for you, but this is out of our hands. And I feel like, once, if you explain that in a way, kids get it, because most of them do. Mm-hmm. They're like, okay. And I ain't gonna even hold you. It was lit. Like, I had a lit life. Like, I had a little lit life. I was everywhere doing everything. I got friends from all over. My reach is so far. I'm like, I didn't even know you was over there. I didn't know you was in Turkey. You said, like, wait, what? You're like, Tiffany, what you do? So it was still a gift in a sense. So please, if you're watching, please try to take advantage of the situation, because guess what? You're somewhere new. You can reinvent yourself. So I was 3 different people growing up. Like, I was 17 different kids growing up, because I was in different schools. So I had a very, very, my parents would make fun of me because I used to make up a lot of stories. I used to because I would try to gain friends. So I was making, you be telling them campfire stories, you be telling your stories or whatever, and you mix a little bit of the truth in with the lies, you know what I'm saying? And so I think there was a story where I lived on this big park. It was Balal. It's a big park, like, and the kids is going back because it wasn't like it couldn't have happened, because my dad was dropping me off in a Jaguar. So it was almost like I was mixing it up, but I was making my story sexier. It was sexy enough, but I wanted to make it sexier to acquire more friends. I was acquiring friends like Thanos stone. Like, Thanos was Infinity Stones. I was acquiring. It was getting jazzy, and but I got busted. My mom was like, who do you think? Who are you?
Having your mom and dad be together, be married, be a couple, how has that illustrated what you envision for yourself in relationships and love?
See, that's not fair, because my parents have an unfair relationship. My parents had an unfair, like, love at first sight. Like, I saw you from across the room, girl, with stuff. You know what I'm saying? And we kicked it ever since. So it's like, how do you top that? But I mean, to the point where you're like almost envious, because I'm like, my mom, and I lost my dad in 2019. Of course, I always tell my mom, like, I'm envious of you and how good you had it. And she was like, I know, like, I know how good I had, because they had a good thing. Like, they weren't just parents, they were teammates, they were lovers, they were friends, they hung out together. They were like, oh, well, I gotta go. And it wasn't just one sided where, oh, I gotta go because your daddy here. No, it was, my dad was very romantic. He was, that's what I'm saying. It was unreal. He was romantic. He was doing the flowers and it's almost unfair. The next man, sir, I don't know what to tell you. I would like flowers. I would like cars. I would like houses. You'd be like, wait, what? No, because that's what I'm used to. But I know that with that type of love, that type of black love, that type of, weather the storm love, and, faithfulness, it was just like a relationship on another level where you could watch it and be like, you know what, this is exactly what I'm aspiring to. Now, don't get me wrong, like, they admit that, there were certain things that they wish they would have did better, or maybe I should have listened to your mom when we did this, but you also got to hear that too. And you got to hear the mistakes and how they worked it out, and how maybe they didn't work it out and they still beefing, and that was 20 years ago. And you know what I'm saying? I'm still mad at your mother for doing this thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, but they moved on and they had conflict resolution. And I feel like I was so blessed and fortunate to have that already embedded and instilled in me to bring to my relationship if it is not there. However, I'm very much hoping that it is there. I'm very grateful, like, of the example. Like I said, my parents were they loved each other. Like, my mom loved my dad. My dad loved my mom. There was no question. There was no, I make jokes about it. I'm like, look, if my daddy had any other kids, it would have showed up at the funeral. That's what I told him. I said, man, I didn't see any. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't see any. I didn't see no women there except us. And so he was just a good man from the start to finish. And my mom always contests to how much she loves him, how much she's still in love with him. My parents met at like a 80s house party, okay? They met at an 80s house party, linked up, and was hooked up for like 2 years, got married, and was married for 33 years.
Wow.
Had 3 kids, never separated.
Why does it seem so far fetched?
I don't think it's far fetched. I think my dad was one of a kind because certain men just know who they are off the rip. Like, he was very young. He was already popping, successful. He didn't have to settle down. Like, he didn't have to. That was just something he chose. He didn't have to have children. It's something he chose. Like, all these things he chose to do. And it was like kind of a interesting story because, unfortunately, due to a lot of circumstances in our community in, Afro American dating, and I say Afro American dating because, baby, you can always get you somebody outside that's like us. But that's another time for another day. But Afro American dating, it's a lot of brokenness. It's a lot of disconnection. I won't say brokenness because that is a negative connotation, making it seem like the black man is broken, and he's worthless. No, it's a disconnect. It's a disconnect on the needs, my needs, or the needs that I want, opposed to what is being presented to me. And that's cool because, like I said, I wait. I wait. Don't worry, I'm patient. I wait. But the shocking part is that in particular type of man that my dad was is not necessarily what's in style as of right now. The classic man, I'm going to say it, is not in style. There are very much plenty of classic men in style. I mean, that are around, but it's like everybody is very much guarded. And my parents and my father was very open hand. And a lot of men are closed fist. And that is the shocker that, oh my God, my dad was so open. My dad was so ready. My dad was so decisive. My dad didn't need to keep, I'm gonna have to see what I can do when I can do it. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe in titles. That's just a man, and I hate to do this to y'all. That's just a man that just has no discipline. Unfortunately, he doesn't want a title because he's not disciplined, and it has nothing to do with you. It just means that he doesn't know how to be disciplined. He wants choices because he doesn't know how to choose, and that is a problem when it comes to bigger things like choosing a house or a car or schools for the kids. You know what I'm saying? Like later on in life, like, you know, these things will be an issue. So you got to really be careful of that. And I feel like because of my parents' relationships and like previous relationships before, I am very careful of that. I find it, like I said, that's the shocker really, is that my daddy was very, very open with his love. A lot of men are very closed off with their love. They're very afraid. Very afraid. It's a lot of fear. So much fear. It is unbelievable. And you're breaking through the wall. But the problem is that you're also afraid. You also have fear. So it's both of us. You know, my mom wasn't no easy cakewalk, because my mom was tough. My mom wasn't, she was tough. She mean. My mom mean to this day. Mean to this day. She's sweet. She's a sweet lady, but like, hey, how you doing, Ann? So I'm saying, so I'm like, so how did you and him? But see, my dad also had personality. I like a male personality. He was very, very, very fly. He had a lot of personality. He cracked jokes. Like, if you would have really had a chance to really be around him, you would have understood. Like, I think your mom know, but from the little times that you do get to be around him, he'd be like, hey, how you doing? You know, and he was a ladies' man, regardless of the fact of how he only had one woman, but he still was a ladies' man. You'd be at the bank and the ladies, he's super tall, so that's the conversational piece. And I come in, I'm like, who are you talking to? Oh, that
Right. Don't be entertaining them.
Where are you?
Right.
Don't be talking to my daddy.
That's me.
And he'll be studying none of them women. Like, and it's something I've visually seen.
So I know you said fear, but is the fear justified on the guy's end, and how is it justified on the woman's end?
I mean, I think a lot of fear comes from how we remember, you're an individual in your world and this other individual in their world, and y'all trying to merge these worlds together like you're Doctor Strange in the metaverse. You can't. It's not always, because sometimes that person's life is crazy, and he just can't afford to put you in his life. A lot of women have to understand that as well. A lot of men got to understand that as well. Like, people have to understand sometimes somebody goes to you might not have nothing to do with you. They can't fit you in, queen. They can't fit you in, king, because you come with a lot. I've had plenty of men just be like, you know what, Tiffany, or just not tell me nothing. They be like, dang, they go to me. But I actually respected that, because you didn't waste my time. Like, because you're at a point in your life where you can't give me what I want. It's just not possible. And unfortunately, when people say, if they had time for it, they make time for it. Baby, listen, there's a lot of things I wish I could make time for. But I can't. So you have to take that very much into perspective, very much into consideration, very much into your own stuff, because you could be emotionally unavailable and don't even know it. Wondering why you're attracting emotionally unavailable people. You really don't want that relationship like you say you do. You really don't. Because if he really was to come, bring that ring and be like, girl, meet me at the altar with your white dress, I've been loved you. You'd be like, I beg your pardon? You'd be like, I'm sorry, the streets are calling. I'm sorry, what happened? Like, oh no, ma'am, you weren't ready at all for that good man. Now were you? Said you're trying to be ready, but you're not ready. You're not ready. And so I think it's just levels of honesty, because I think a lot of us don't be honest with ourselves. So the fear, dishonesty, you know, you not being honest enough with yourself to be like, hey, because I have a firm belief that if I'm broke, I don't date. Can we talk about it, ladies? If I am broke, I do not date.
Why is that?
It's just an insecure. Fellas, I don't feel good without no money. I just want to let y'all know I don't feel good. I can't go out. Listen, there's no brunch. No brunch on Sundays. I'm going to see y'all next month. Because I ain't got it. I'm over here crying too, because I love brunch on Sundays. Ask my booze. I love it. Where you going? I'm going to brunch with the girls this Sunday. Oh, my bad. All right, have fun. You need some money? I do not today. But hold that, put it on the dresser, I'm going to get it tomorrow. You see, I'm going to need it today because I can take care of myself. And that's what you want. When you're dating, you want to, both sides should be able to take care of themselves. That is 100% something that is a must. Now, I know women going to come at me for that. They're like, you can do. No, sweetie. All I'm going to tell you is wave versus row. That's all I can tell you. Have yourself and your stuff, please. It's a lot of pressure already with these bills on your back. I feel you. And you want a little help. I know. But please be able to take care of that weight on your own, just in case. Because you never know what could happen. Like, your partner could actually, something could happen to them. We're not just talking about them leaving you or, you know, whatever. It could really be some stuff that happens. And I've seen, like, in my years of life, I've seen a couple different scenarios where I'm like, dang, I never would have thought of it like that. But it's also a fair amount of, you know, making sure you have your own. Like, ain't nothing like having your own stuff where you can be like, I'm going to go home to my house. Because I just don't like the energy here. And it's just not working for me. Make somebody mad as I don't know what, too, when you be ready to go to your own house. They be salty. You be like, well, get on out of here then. I will, because my stuff is nice. I've been kicked out of way worse places than this. Say, like, you stretch your stuff and get up out of there. It's just like I think fear, dishonesty, just not being true to who you are, confidence. Because you got to be confident enough to tell people what you want in a relationship. Like, because I used to have that problem too, where I would try to keep it the fem. Oh, he'll figure. No, mama. You're asking a lot. Right. Gas prices are $1,800 a gallon at this point. As far as I'm concerned, that's how high it is. We don't got time for you. No man that I know is a mind reader. No man. Even the best one. Give me the best one. I'm going to be like, tell me what's on my mind right now. Say, like, it's probably a 10-piece garlic parmesan all flats, but he would never know unless he really knew me.
Like, I was just talking to my friends about this and how I've noticed the same trend with men, you know, in their 20s. That's my age range. Of course, being unwilling to, like, have anything, whether it's like we're exclusively dating or saying I'm dating you or getting into a relationship. I don't really understand it, and I never did, especially with, like, my friends or whatnot. It's like they're sleeping with each other. We're acting like boyfriend and girlfriend, you know. They're telling you they only want you to sleep with them or talk to them, but they're not willing to give you that commitment.
I hate to do this to y'all. Y'all gonna be mad with me. Y'all gonna be mad. Y'all gonna be mad. Y'all gonna be like, because I had to do it. And I hope the wave versus row wakes us up too as women. Clink it. And let me tell you something about your virtue. Because and I feel like the generations before us never really I would like to let young girls know, having your virtue as long as possible is actually a good business decision. And I ain't saying like if you've already done it or whatever. I'm talking about bring, dialing it back on the cookie. Even if you had sex with them, you have to let them know, like, look, apparently I like you more than you like me. I am dating for intention. You gotta let men know off the bat, like, because they're gonna know that their time is coming up. Like, they time, this fun, it's gonna be over in a minute, because easily they'll be like, oh my God, well you wanted to, you be like, wait a minute, hold up. In the beginning I said intention. That, like, you know, when people a lot of men have to understand, when you go to a woman's family's house and they ask what your intentions are for the young lady. You're the most priceless thing in the world. And I don't want to get, because listen, the game is sold separately, damn it. And it's sold separately. They can say they got it, but it's sold separately. Where'd you buy it? You have to clink it up. Clink, because it's important. It's important. You're important. And our mothers and our grandmothers and our aunties and them didn't explain how it was. They was like, oh, if you have sex, you're going to be a hoe. No. Because Lori Harvey is winning, baby. Young Miami is out here. Go Poppy. You know what I'm saying? JT, she's with Lil Uzi. We can't talk about that. You know what I'm saying? We can't. But all your favorite girls got a man. You got to understand, this is a recipe. You know, this is old school. This ain't no picnic. Like, these young ninjas, they gonna get older. They gonna turn to older ninjas. You think Willie Earl Jones wasn't doing this to your auntie in 1972? This ain't no new thing these men's is doing. Why do you think your man got no daddy? His daddy did the same thing. Like, it's the same thing, bro. And they want the same thing, bro. Prostitution. Yeah. The oldest job in the world. You got to be careful. Now we have to be extremely careful. It is more dangerous now to give men sex without a real commitment than any other time that we have ever been in. This is almost like back in the day. This is almost like it. And I'm only saying this to young ladies because, listen, for some of y'all want to be city girls, y'all want to be hot girls. Go ahead. Go, young girl, yo. I want it all for you. You want to do the Young Miami? Go, Poppy, go. I'm with you. Do it all, okay? If that's what you want to do, you know. But there are some young ladies that are confused, like, by what's happening. And I'm like, you have to understand. You have to set yourself apart. You have to let men understand what category you fall in. Yes, I know they say it's not a category. It ain't no matter. They are lying. It's a lie. It's a bald-faced lie. It is a bald-faced lie because actions speak louder than words, and you will see their actions immediately. Too sweet. In the words of my French brothers, is it too sweet? But I definitely feel like your body, and also you got to understand, like, a lot of stuff is happening right now. Do you want that demon D inside of you? Do you want some gremlin D inside of you? You want a gremlin in you? You want that gremlin D? No. You want that demon time D? Girl! Get that devilish D away from me. Get that devil, the devil. That is the devil. Why you want to have sex with that? I don't care if it's good, girl. Yes. You have too much sweets, it'll give you a stomach ache. Come on, somebody. Yes. You know, a lot of people be like, men too, they be like, oh, she says I'm mad. No, it's not you. Mm-hmm. You know what you want. And that's why you express it. And then you move on. If you have to keep expressing it, doesn't that mean that the other person isn't getting it?
It is an opportunity for you to learn what you can do in your own life, you know? Like, okay, maybe I won't sleep with someone so soon, or maybe I won't be as transparent in this way, you know, or I might, you know. So I think that's how I've been, like, changing my perspective too when it comes to relationships. Because at first, when a guy would, like, not talk to me or ghost me, I would really internalize it, and I would just, like, want to, like, get drunk and, like, just do drugs and just hurt myself, not understanding like, girl, like you hurting yourself is not going to make you more appealing to the next person that's for you either. So what advice do you have for like for healing and moving on from damaging or unproductive relationships?
I mean, you can, it's okay to feel upset that someone hurt you. Let's start there. I always tell myself it's okay. Allow yourself the time to process it, not acting a fool, laying all on the floor. That's talking to myself, not just y'all. But an actual processing, like, wow, like I put energy into a person and they wasn't rocking with me. Okay, but also you have to understand, like, when you're going for intention, you already dope. You already dope as a person. Like, you put your best foot forward. So you was like, all right, I put my best foot forward. I mean, they wasn't rocking with me. It be like that sometimes. Trust me. I say a prayer now. If it ain't good, God, don't give it to me. Like, if it ain't good, I'd rather you ghost me. Don't talk to me no more. Don't say nothing. Like, I'd rather you be like, tell me you know what I'm saying? Just treat me bad. Like, you know what I'm saying? If it ain't good, I don't want it. Cause it could get sticky later on in life. Like, it's definitely okay to process. Definitely do, if you're going to share your feelings, I would definitely share them with a sounding board person. Please do not get you the city girlfriend. Do not hop on the phone with her. She don't got no man either. Both y'all upset. Both y'all finna do something reckless. It's finna be a problem. The police will be called. Like, remember what happened to that girl that blew herself up messing up that car? Please, baby, don't do it. Don't do it. Trust me. I done been all of y'all. And I done been all of y'all. So, I'm not speaking from just an idea. I'm speaking from something I know. Proudly. I say proudly. Because you know what? As I get older, as I get my life together, as I get older, I learned that, these interactions I won't get again, because I'm getting wisdom. So I'm going to be wise on it. So I'm like, no, I'm good. And I look younger. So, younger men harass me often. You know what I'm saying? They be like, so what's up with you? I'll be like, so what's up? Okay, I'm going to do this. No. How about we, it's just not going to work. It's just not going to work. Like, I've ghosted young men before just because I knew I probably ruined your life, young man. You're out here trying to have a good time. I'm clearly not the good time type. So maybe it's time for me to just bow out gracefully. You know what I'm saying? So, and what do you say about that? You know what I'm saying? I'm sure y'all have ghosted somebody. And don't be scared to ghost nobody. Okay? Yes, I said it. I said, don't be scared to fall back. Don't be scared. Don't be scared to get fell back on. And don't be scared to fall back. Because guess what? This is your life. Like, people be forgetting all day. I want to get married. I want to do this. I want to have kids. Remember, you got a whole chapters. So you finna just be hurt, fall apart, upset over a chapter in a novel that ain't finished being written yet. This ninja is a chapter. Like, and might not even be a long chapter. It could be 3 pages. And there he was. Bam! That's it. Next chapter. Chapter 7. You're like, what? We didn't get no more? There he was? That's it. That's it. We not getting no more? Okay, cool. Whatever. But like I said, it's okay. And it's okay. It is okay. You take L. And I think it's because me being an athlete. You take L. Life full of L's. You know what I'm saying? Life is full of them. What makes you think that is different from relationships? You have to play. If you're going to be out here and your heart is out here, you understand just how precious it is. You know what I'm saying? One thing, knowing your own worth, baby, will stop all of that. It'll stop that because people be on the phone trying to talk to you. Like, yo, I know how much your worth is. Let me holler at you real quick. Hey, I know you're busy, baby. Can I talk to you? Hey, baby, I know you got it. Can I send you that cash app for the brunch? I know you said you didn't need it, but can I send it anyway? I'll be like, yes, please, fine. Send it. Send the $100. $100, yes.
I don't have the courage to like ask for money. I'm so bad. I'm not advanced like that yet.
That is
Yep.
the problem. That
Yeah,
is
I'm
your.
like,
This is young. This is a young person's problem. This is a young girl's problem. It's a young girl's problem because I had the same problem too. And you know what, Sonny? I had was it my grandmama or somebody older than me said something. And I was like, she was like, and I don't know if we can bleep it out. She said, guess what? You scared to ask him for some money, and you laying up with this man, and he supposed to be, you know what I'm saying? He know them lights go on and off. He know that water that he hop in the shower go on and off, and then how I get back on and stuff like that. But he ain't scared to ask for no pussy.
she said, okay, young
Okay,
lady.
young
Oh my
lady.
goodness.
Said that's what, and she locked off, and I was like, I'm gonna go ask. And you know, and no, and I'm not saying ask every man for money. I'm saying your person. You know what I'm saying? And I would think that, you know, if a man was really, really down, would have the same sense. You'd be like, hey, yo, can I get $20? You know what I'm saying? And it's not like, and fellas be up here capping like a mug. I'm like, dang, y'all on these fraternities, Phi Beta cappers out here. Because I know plenty of women that'll help a dude when he's down, especially if he's taking care of her already. And that's a jewel for y'all fellas. Take care of your girls, because if you down, because sometimes it get like that, they will have your back.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking about any woman. That's why you're supposed to treat every woman that you get very
That's
well.
true. That's true.
Because you might need a favor one day. But that's okay. No, are you laying up with me? Are you laying up with me? Are you coming every day to my house? Are you caring about whether I live or die? Are you caring about if I'm suffering or not?
Yeah.
Because that's where a real man shows up. And then you address that. Because real men, especially for their girl, for somebody that they claim they care about, and this will let you know, unfortunately, ladies, where you stand. Oh no! And don't get me wrong, I've been turned no, I've been told no, and then told yes, and told no, and like I said, I don't be running around here asking. These are people that I actually am in relationships with. Like I am already, once again, I don't need help. So when I do ask for help, it is serious. And so with that being said, or it's something productive, like for a class or this, it's not just hair and nail money. See, a lot of men are out here with, I also feel like a lot of this is false propaganda to go against the black man and black woman, making a lot of bitter black women post, and women who are already sensitive, we falling for that. That's propaganda. That's some bullshit, because not every man is like that. You can't possibly put a single group. Same thing with men who talk reckless and foolish like that. No high earning man, no real ninja, whatever you want to call it, is even endorsing things of this nature. You have to think about it. Like, men with money, why would they care if you had a kid or not? You know what I'm saying? When they could just throw money. Like, I've seen men just throw money. Like, because they wanted to be with you. So, like I said, the game is sold separately. There's false propaganda from, I won't say where, that's giving a negative connotation towards black men, making black women for sure hate you. Because it be stupid stuff too. It be stupid stuff. Y'all gotta see it, because it be real men, and they be saying they real men, and they be like, well, I can't see you needing a man. You got a job, you got a car, you got this. You don't need no man. You are the man. And then in the same conversation, say, well, I need a woman who could take care of herself, because I don't want to keep taking care of her. Like, you just said the oxymoron in the same sentence. No wonder women hate y'all. No wonder we hate you. I hate you, sir. I hate you. Like, you know what I'm saying? And now we've got a million black women, a million women in general, telling this man, I hate you, sir, I hate you. Sir, you are nowhere near who I would date. He would just say that. I would just sit there like the lunacy. Somebody get this jigaboo away from me. If you're broke, just say that. If you don't have an LLC, just say that, sir. If you don't have a full-time job, just say that. If you don't have it, just say that. If you don't take care of your children, just say that, please. Don't upset us all. You just want to make us upset. And also, you guys gotta understand, these are for ratings. That's what I'm saying. It's false propaganda, like, you know what I'm saying? Like the Kevin Samuels guy. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't even really believe he believes everything that he said when he was alive. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy because a lot of people got upset behind him. And I almost fell into the hole of like, oh my God, this guy is awful. And he's black, man. Oh my God, it's all black. Wait a minute. This is a negative propaganda against black women and black men's relationships. So, like, people have to really understand that they are really after our relationships. Like, they're purposely making sure that black men and black women don't hook up and we really do hate each other. Because there are some awful women out here.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm scared.
Awful. I mean, it's enough to scare a man. I understand, sir. Sir, I you went through all that. I'm scared for you. Sir, but I could have told you she was crazy from the jump. I could have told you, can't trust a big butt and a smile, sir. That girl's poison. They said it. They said it before. Right. It's on all the songs. Same girl. Same. Right. One nigga's in jail. Because he had the same girl. She was too young. But that's not the point. Like, sir, you're going to have to make better choices. You know what I'm saying? But see, nobody will ever tell a man to make better choices.
Well, they
will always tell the woman to make better choices on the men that she
Well,
picks.
I think because they don't have to, because women set the bar. We raise the bar of the like morale. I believe so. I believe when women act a fool, the man is gonna be like, oh, okay, well then the kids are gonna follow, because I think women have that type of influence, but men have a different type of control over us as women. That's just what I believe. I think that if women, like we were talking about it earlier, you were saying for us to like not sleep with men so soon and to wait it out. Yeah, because if we don't open it, they don't get in, you know? So
and you also have to be careful, like, because like I said, you mess around, rock with somebody, because men are very good at, because I don't want the brothers to jump on me, because I just tried to get out of the doghouse, because they be like, you stay in it, out of the doghouse. I do, because I love it here. Still, I love it here. Come bite me. Men are very, very good at withholding the truth. Now, I have this thing where I tell a man, I say, listen, you withholding the truth is technically lying. No, it's not. I just didn't tell you. Sir, some of this stuff be pertinent information that cause you to stick around. Like if I would have knew this, do you think I would have stayed with you? I would have gave you some and got invested with you. If I knew you had like 5 more kids in 3 different states. The hell I would do that for? I'm just stupid. Like, you know, some women know, but a lot of them, we don't. We don't until, like, you know, that, and also, that's what I'm saying, ladies, it's a game to them, you know, because that sexual connection is the gotcha, bitch. You know what I'm saying? That's that emotional investment, because you know, it's a lot to have sex with a man as a woman. It's a lot to have sex, period, as a woman. So, sir, have you had sex with you? Have you? You know what I'm saying? Like, I have to be like, have you? You know what I'm saying? Then that's another conversation, but if you haven't, pay my money! No, pay me my money! Damn it! Like, shut up! I don't want to hear that shit! You want dinner, don't you? Shut up! How do you think I get groceries, you dumb? You know what I'm saying? Like, you really be having to let men know, like, because they really think it's about hair, nails, and toes. Bro, a real man gonna make sure you straight, period. Period, point blank. That's all. Believe, that's all, folks. That's it. That's it, bruh. And also, they would like to, I'm not gonna say play victim,
Mhm.
but they're gonna be like, because they ain't had nothing, I'm taking everything mentality,
Mhm.
and I don't care about anybody else or anything or anyone else who gets hurt in the process. That can make a man very, very jaded. That can make a good man, of course, be horrible. But that's the same thing for good women. So it's like, it's a catch-22 for both sides. I definitely feel like with relationships, I joke a lot. I joke around a lot about it because, like I said, I've been with all types of people. I don't close off to that, but I am, as I get older, more selective on who I allow around my space, because my dad had this phrase where he says, to know you is a blessing. You know what I'm saying? And not everybody deserves that right. And if they can't prove that in the first like 3-4 months, it's time to let them slide. Because, and they say to me, why 3-4 months? Because let me tell you how long 3-4 months is. It's long. Okay. A lot has happened in 30 days. And I'm still spinning as of right now. Getting the show together. It has been 30 days from the first, and we are on the 17th, and I am still spinning. And that means I have 2 more weeks. That means I have 14 more days of foolishness. Amen. That I have to continue to endure for this 30 days to be up. Now, do you mean 30 days times 4? You can't see something happening from there. Like sometimes we get so excited that we have somebody that we don't see the signs off the rip. It's been so long. It's been so, like I said, I definitely feel like confidence is key. Loving yourself is key. The love of self is so important no matter what gender you are. You have to love yourself. You have to dig deep in yourself, because it is extremely difficult in this world where they are always telling you, who do you think you are? You are this, you are that, and you have to correct them often. You know what I'm saying? As a black woman, I have to correct them often. You know what I mean? Like, this is my hair today. You know what I mean? Like, I might have had a bob yesterday, but it is my hair today. Why must you be so in my business? Why must you constantly not want to see me shine? Like, but like I said, I think definitely when you have a breakup, definitely when you have something that is detrimental, traumatizing, something that has happened to you, it is definitely the perfect opportunity to self-love. Like, people be like not understanding, like, you going through all that, the medication, the drugs, the alcohol, it's all addiction, it's all substitution for what you're not doing anyway, and that's loving yourself. Read a book, go walk in the park, go to the beach, do some stuff that you like to do. Please find out who you are. You might have not even knew you like to go surfing on weekends and scuba diving. You didn't even know you was a good enough swimmer to do all that. You was out here acting like you wasn't gonna get your hair wet. Now look at you out here scuba diving. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy to me when I hear a lot of people be like, I didn't know my partner could do all that. You know what I'm saying? Like Beyonce's ex. Okay? I didn't know Beyonce could sing. So you mean to tell me you love me, you care about me, you don't even know what I like?
Right. Since your father's passing, what has death taught you about life? I asked my mother this question the other day, regarding my grandmother. And, she said she's still going through it. It's pretty soon. And so is your father's, So what has it taught you about life?
Yeah. I mean, losing parents is so complicated, because as a kid, you have them forever, and you understand the mortality rate. You know what I'm saying? You see other friends, they ain't got no parent, or maybe their parent died, or this or that, and then you just, at a certain point, you just kind of get used to them being there. And everybody's got a number, which is unfortunate. Like I told your mom, I said it's unfortunate. Everybody has a number, and when that number is called, it's just like, it's always It's never gonna be like, I was never gonna be like, yeah, I knew that was the number. Like, no, it is never, ever, ever something that you thinking would happen, like somebody leaving. Um, my dad was like completely something that was like out of the realm of possibility that I could even think of. I actually tend to still feel like your mom said, I still feel like I'm processing because I still feel like he coming back or he's here or he'll show up somehow, some way. And I understand in my mind, that that is not true, but in my heart says differently or my emotions say differently. I do feel like what I tell a lot of people now when I have had grief and had different types of loss, allow yourself the time to grieve
Mm.
because grieving is like, depending on who it is, it can be forever. Like I ain't gonna hold you, it could be forever. Like parents, I'm gonna always reminisce about my dad. I'm gonna always miss my dad. I'm gonna always want my children to know him at least a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Or like laugh at the jokes, or be like, "Oh, I got a joke for you," or at least know why I am the way I am because I'm like my dad. You know what I'm saying? I'm like Papa. But so in that sense, it's like yes, I feel sad, but I'm also uplifted because I mean I turned out great. I'm very grateful that I have all the tools and weapons that I needed to survive thus far. And I definitely feel like it's because of him. I try to tell people that, think of the good stuff because there's plenty of good stuff to think about.
Mm.
You know, my daddy would not want me to see me at the gate right now, unfortunately. You know what I'm saying? Like, he'd be like, you go back. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? You can't go with him. Unfortunately, it sucks because some people be like, I want to go with you. Like, that's not your number. It's not your number. It's not the one that's being called.
I just want to say thank you so much, Tiffany, for hopping on this show, hopping on my podcast, supporting me as always. I love what you're doing. You're super supportive. And for us to not even be blood family, but family through like love and like togetherness, like I'm so grateful to have you. And I want you to like keep doing what you're doing in fashion and using your voice and your platform to like motivate other young women and young, people like myself. And all people, all ages. It don't matter if you're young, old, whatever. It don't matter. We all can use this help. So thank you so much. Yes, yes, yes.
We can all use some.
Yes.
Well, thank you for having me. I love you, love you, love you lots. I'm so proud of you. Congratulations on your show. Thank
Yes.
you for letting me be a guest.